Hello and welcome to the Woollentwine Fiber Studio Knitting Podcast. My name is Jule and I'm the natural dyer and maker behind Woollentwine Fiber Studio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany, where I play with natural dyes and natural yarns. In this video I want to share with you what we're gonna have available in our next collection, so the October collection. And this one's gonna be a long video because we have a lot to share, and we've been working a lot in the last couple of weeks to get some yarny goodies ready for you, so I'm not gonna ramble too much around it and just share with you what we're gonna have available. But yeah, I'm really happy to be back at dyeing some more autumnal colors, and I can't wait to show them to you. We're also going to launch our new custom spun yarn base, Shetland Romney 4-ply, in this update, and I have a full dedicated video on that new base that I'm going to link here, because I think that's the easiest way, and if I would have tried to combine the base info and all the colorways into one video, we would be sitting here for 2.5 hours, so I didn't want to bother you with that, but rather decided to record a dedicated video about that new base. And yeah, as mentioned, it's linked in the little I and down below. But as always, in these kind of preview videos, I want to show you everything that we'll have available in the next shop update. Just because I think natural colors are quite hard to capture sometimes, and it's a lot easier to show them in movement than just to see them on photos, in my opinion. So I'm going to show you all the colorways we'll have available. I'm going to chat you through the hard facts around all bases that will be available. And at the end, I'm also going to tell you about our little festive special that we've prepared over the last couple of months, which I'm incredibly excited about. So without further ado, let me tell you what we're going to have available. So our October collection is going to launch at the end of this month at the 28th of October, 8 p.m. GMT +2. I'm going to put little reminders on my Instagram if you need a little help with the time zones, which I always do because I'm always confusing those. And this is going to be a big update because we've been preparing a lot over the last couple of weeks, and I'm excited to share it all with you. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what bases will be available, what colorways we'll have, and at the end we'll have a little admin session where I'm also going to tell you, to remind you when the update's going to take place and how things are going to go with shipping and everything. So that's going to be at the end of the video, and I'm also going to add timestamps in case you want to jump to a certain section. So that should be a bit easier that way for you. But let's start out with the bases we'll have available. In this update, we will have our BFM Masham DK and our new Shetland Romney 4-ply base. We will not have any BFM Masham 4-ply. I kind of find it a little bit pointless to have several different 4-ply bases because the Shetland Romney 4-ply is already a fingering weight, so I thought that would replace BFM Masham 4-ply for this update. And then we're also going to have our festive special available, but I'm going to chat you through that at a later point in this video. So without further ado, let me show you what we'll have available on our BFM Masham DK. So just a quick recap on our BFM Masham DK base. It's a 75% Blueface Leicester and 25% Masham blend, spun to a worsted spun 2-ply of 240 meters per 100 grams, so a pretty standard DK weight. And it's slightly more loosely plied, so it has a beautiful drape and is very lovely for any kind of garment or flowy shawl or whatever. And yeah, this is just a lovely standard base of ours that we're restocking in almost every update, and I think it's very nice for some warm garments to be knitted over the winter time now. And the color collection we've created is kind of autumnal, but we've also tried to add a couple of fresher shades in case you're not too much into the earthy autumnal kind of colors. So we've tried to make a beautiful, rich collection that covers pretty much every part of the rainbow. But I should also maybe mention that we've had a beautiful pattern release just recently. There was a super sweet pattern collection inspired by the Anne of Green Gables series, designed by Aimee Sher, and I was very lucky to be part of this collection yarn-wise, and provided yarn support for the Marillas mittens. And those were designed in just like 2 versions, I think, or even 3. I think there is a fingerless mitt, a regular mitten, and a reversible or convertible one where you can just take the upper part off and make them fingerless. And we are going to be restocking the colorways, the original colorways those were designed in. And I think that's about the hard facts on this base, so let me jump right into the colorways now. The first colorway that we're going to restock, as mentioned, is one of the original colorways that the Marillas mittens were designed in, and this one is the colorway Lavender, and it's a beautiful grayish purple that's very versatile. We're having a tiny bit of a focusing issue here, I feel. Can you focus? All right, here we go. And then the second colorway that we're going to restock is one that we didn't have for quite a long time, but this is the second color that Aimee designed the Marillas mittens, like the second sample in. And this one is called Plum, and it's a super dark bluish purple that reminds me of plums, hence the name. So yeah, these are Lavender and Plum, the 2 original colorways of the Marillas mittens by Aimee Sher. And speaking of colorways that were used for designs, we're also going to be restocking kind of a classic colorway by now, and this one is Almond. It's kind of a rich beigey shade that was also used for a design that is still in the making but should be released rather soon, and that one is the Ohra pullover by Ansah of Kotikotoni, and I have had the pleasure to test knit this one, and I haven't finished the whole sweater yet, but I can tell it's an absolute dream to knit. It has a lovely textured yoke that is actually inspired by barley, and it's glorious. It's a lot of fun to knit. It looks beautiful, and if I'm not mistaken, it should be coming out pretty soon. So I've made sure I have loads of the original colorway of this pattern stocked. So this one is Almond, and I think it's perfect for letting... What are we having here with this focusing? It's very perfect to let the beautiful texture shine, but it's also very lovely on its own, and just in a more plain pattern, don't get me wrong. But yeah, this is Almond, and staying in the slightly more brownish category, so I can also show them to you side by side. This is our colorway Caramel. That is a classic kind of by now. It's a golden, warm, caramelly brown. And we've had this one around for quite a while, but we didn't dye it in the last couple of updates, so this is making a comeback. As well as one of the shades that was very popular in the last updates, and that one is Walnut. And it's just a beautiful, more coolish brown than Caramel, and also a slight bit darker. So yeah, this one is Walnut. And just to show you the comparison of the three, because I know that can be helpful sometimes, here are the three together. So this one is Almond, in the middle we have Caramel, and on the right we have Walnut. I should also maybe mention, because I get this question sometimes, Almond will be available in several lots. That just means I've tried to dye a larger amount of this colorway, and because natural dyes never turn out the same way again, it's risky to combine several skeins in a sweater, for example, that are not out of the same dye lot. So I'm trying to mark the lots, and if you want to purchase a sweater quantity, for example, of a yarn, I would always recommend choosing them from one lot, because that's pretty much the skeins coming from one dye lot, so I can guarantee they've all been dyed in the same dye liquid, and so they have all the same shades, because yeah, it's a natural product. It's not like synthetic dyes. They don't always turn out the same, and just to make sure you can have a cohesive project after all and no color changes or anything, I would recommend to always choose skeins from one dye lot, and as mentioned, they are always marked in the shop, so you can see, you can choose from a dye lot. So, and just because I know some of you might want to get the almond colorway to knit an Ohra sweater, I've dyed a couple of more dye lots of this colorway, just so you can all get a skein if you like, or multiple. Yeah, but so far our earthy shades, well, we have a few more earthy shades, such as this one. I would consider this an earthy shade, but this one is Golden Hour. And this was very popular in the last update. It's a lovely golden, olivey kind of yellow. And it's, I think it absolutely screams autumn to me. And I think it's just very beautiful. So yeah, this is Golden Hour. And we have another very autumnal shade, I would say, and that one is Cranberry. And this one always looks way punchier on the screen than it actually is, which I don't understand, but yeah, it's slightly more muted in real life. Maybe I can show it together with Golden Hour. No, doesn't help it much, but yeah, just imagine it being a tiny bit less punchy. So yeah, that one is Cranberry. Sorry if I'm kind of going through these a bit more quickly than I normally do, but we have a lot more colorways to show, and I don't want you to be sitting around here for like over an hour. So yeah, those were Golden Hour and Cranberry. And staying in the kind of, yeah, berry family, we will also restock, I would say almost an old favorite by now, that's called Oxalis. A deep berry burgundy red that I just love, especially around this time of year. And speaking of this time of year, I'm very happy to bring back a colorway that was extremely loved last year around the holiday season. And we're bringing it back, and I'm really happy about that. And this one is Crimson, and it's a very saturated, coolish undertone red, and I think it's so beautiful. It absolutely screams Christmas, so I get why it's always very requested around the holiday season, but yeah. This one is Crimson, and I should maybe show them next to each other, because you might ask what the difference is between Crimson and Cranberry, but here you can see that Cranberry is quite a bit more orange in undertone, whereas Crimson is a lot more cool or bluish in undertone. And then next to it you'll have Oxalis, just for a little comparison. So yeah, those are our kind of more reddish shades. And then we're already at the last shade that's going to be a restock, because the other shades we have are new colorways. So this last restock color is Eucalyptus. And this is like a grayish undertoned super light green. And I think it's very wearable and also very easy to combine with other colors. But yeah, this is Eucalyptus. And then we're coming to our new colorways, which surprisingly are all pinks. And yeah, I definitely know one person that's going to be very happy about all these pinks, and that is my friend Eva of the Blue Rabbit House, because yeah, she loves all kinds of pinks and red shades, and I know she's gonna love this section now. But we're gonna start out with the first of the new colorways, and this is one that's almost kind of out of my comfort zone, because it's slightly more punchy and very playful, but also very, like, it's not too punchy, but it's very beautiful, I think. So this one is Fuchsia, and it's just a very saturated, sophisticated kind of bluish pink. And then we'll have another new colorway that's a pink as well, and this one is called Orchid, like the flower, and it's a beautiful, I don't know if you can see, but it's a beautiful coolish undertone medium pink. And then we'll have another pink, but this one is kind of in a different family, I would say. This one is Dogwood, and it's more on the warm side and more dusty, I would say. And it kind of reminds me of dogwood flowers, so that's why it's called this way. And now, to make it a bit easier for you to imagine the colors, sorry, I'm just dropping the skeins from my lap. Here are the three new pinks next to each other. So Fuchsia, and then in the middle we have Orchid, and then we have Dogwood on the right. Like, for me it's right, I think for you it's the left, I don't know, but this one is the Dogwood one. So yeah, so far about the colorways on our BFM Masham DK. I hope this little run through wasn't too fast for you, and if you need any help with color combinations, my emails are always open, and you can always email me and I'll try to help as much as I can. But yeah, so far about our BFM Masham DK. Let's continue with our new base Shetland Romney 4-ply. So just a quick heads up about this base. I do have, as mentioned, there is the whole video about it, but I also wanted to give you a quick overview of the hard facts, just so you have a little reminder of it. So Shetland Romney 4-ply is a 350 meter per 100 grams 2-ply worsted spun yarn. That's a 50% Shetland and 50% Romney fiber content. As always, it's non-superwash and plastic free, as all of my yarns are. And it's sourced and spun in the UK, custom for us. So it's an exclusive base that only we have. And I get this question a few times. I got this already in the last couple of days about whether this one is a limited edition. And while it's not necessarily one of my like really limited editions where I'm picking up the wool myself, sorting it and getting it spun, those batches can never be reproduced, so these are the limited editions. This one is not that, but I still have to work with what's available, what yarn or what wool I could source for this. And while I can still make the same blend and get it spun at the same mill, it's depending on what wool is available and also what turnaround times are at the mill. So it can always happen that there are months where I cannot get this, like months of time are passing until I can get this yarn again. So this is not going to become like a standard like BFM Masham 4-ply or DKR or Corridor Sock are. So yeah, I cannot say that I'm going to restock this in every other update or whatever. It just depends on what the mill can offer to me, and how we can source the wool for the yarn and everything. So if you're eyeing a colorway in this update, this is also going to be the biggest update with this space, and so I would recommend to maybe not like wait because you feel like it's going to be back again in the next update, in the next update, and the next update, because that's not how it goes with this base. It's still kind of limited. Not like it's never gonna come back again limited, but yeah, it's it's not gonna be a standard that I can restock all of the time. That's what I wanted to say. I hope that wasn't too complicated or whatever. But yeah. So far about the hard facts on Shetland Romney 4-ply. I'm gonna link the mentioned video below, and now let's jump right into the colorways. Okay, colorways on our Shetland Romney 4-ply. As mentioned, I have a full dedicated video on the texture and how this yarn behaves and feels. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out first, but now I'm going to show you the colors that this will be available in. So first of all, let me show you the two natural colorways. These are undyed, and we're going to offer a few skeins of the two undyed shades. So these are the undyed shades, and this one is cream, the white one, and then the light gray is just the light gray. So yeah, these are the two undyed shades, and I think it's very nice to offer them just so you can choose maybe like a main color and then have a little colorful accent or whatever. I'm personally a lover of all kinds of neutrals, as you might know if you've been following me for a while, but yeah, I'm also wearing my Highland Slipover that I've knitted out of this yarn in the natural light grey colorway, so, and I think it's just very lovely and very wearable. So yeah, those are the two natural colorways, and now I'm just going to go in random order because there's nothing that's like new or repeated, because yeah, all colorways on this base are kind of new because they do look a bit different. Even if I'm using like the same dye recipe, they do look a bit different on every base, so it's always a surprise. But without further ado, let me show you the first colorway, that is raspberry, and this is just a saturated, nice, warm pink. I guess we're having a pink run here. But yeah, this is the raspberry colorway, also dyed on the grey base, as you can see, so it has a bit of a have that effect. And then, as on the BFM Masham DK, we also dyed the cranberry colorway. That again is not as punchy as it seems in the camera for some reason. But I think this is just beautiful for like a colorful accent, or in general in a color work. And then we'll also have our Christmassy colorway, if you want to say it like this, crimson on this base. And I think it's so incredibly festive and looks so, I don't know, sophisticated on this base. Look how this glows. I'm just really happy with it. So this is crimson. And then we're gonna have kind of a new shade that's also in the berry family, that you just know I love berry tones. This is maroon. And it's like a brownish deep red, I would say. So yeah, this one is called maroon. And I think it's incredibly wearable. And goes super well with the light grey undyed. I just love this combo. Anyways, let me show you the red pink family all together, because I think it's a bit easier to see the differences this way. So we have maroon on the side, then this one is crimson, raspberry and cranberry. All the berries over here. But yeah, those were the reds and pinks. Now we're kind of transitioning into, it's also like a pink kind of shade, but not as saturated, so I think it's a different story. So this one is called Pearl, and it's a super light blushy pink with a coolish undertone. I think this is even more light, like this maybe, even lighter in real life than on camera. But it's just a very nice powdery light pink. Speaking of powdery shades, we have another similar shade that has a bit of a different vibe though, and this one is called Powder, and Powder is dyed on the grey base. It's not the same colorway as Pearl, but it does have a similar vibe, so it's another slightly very light pink with a bluish undertone, and this one is dyed on the grey, so it looks different from the Pearl, as you can see here maybe. So this one is Powder and this one is Pearl. Okay, then we have another reddish colorway, but this one is more on the earthy side, so I would say it's a different color family, if you will. And this one is Terracotta, and I'm really happy we were able to bring this back, because it's definitely not possible to dye this colorway on a grey yarn with the same outcome or a similar outcome. And so I was very happy that I also had the Shetland Romney available in a white base, because I've only had this dyed on our Corridale a couple of updates back, and I'm really happy to have this back again. So this is Terracotta. And staying in the kind of orangey color family, we have also dyed our classic Maple Leaf on the new base. This is a warm burnt orange, but also kind of a brown. I don't know, it's something between an orange and a brown, I would say. And it's very, very autumnal, I feel. And so is also the next colorway, which is one that I had a lot of fun with. I'm gonna tell you the story behind it. But this one is called Ginger, and it's a very light orangey beige, I would say. And I think it's really pretty. Let me show you the orangey family next to each other. This is terracotta, in the middle we have maple leaf, and this one is ginger. And with this one I have to tell you the story because I'm very lucky to have help currently from my sister. She's a few years younger than I am, and she just finished her master's and is starting her new job in the middle of November. And she had a little bit of a gap in between finishing her studies and her new job. And so she offered me her help, which I'm very, very grateful for. Because, yeah, it's the busy season for us yarn people right now. So I could use any help that I could get. And a couple of days ago, we went out to a local park to shoot a couple of videos and pictures alongside the autumn collection. Because, yeah, with the leaves turning and everything, I just thought it's a beautiful setting. And I also wanted to take her to learn a bit about photography and how to handle a camera because, yeah, she was very interested in that. And while we were outside and I was taking pictures of her holding the yarn, we realized that this color is pretty much her hair color. And so I was so excited to take all the pictures of her with like, where you can see her hair and the color next to it, and it was so hilarious kind of. But yeah, this is pretty much her hair color. She's like a strawberry ginger blonde, and that's also, yeah, this is why it's also called Ginger. So this is kind of an homage to my sister's hair color. Very autumnal, but not as out there as, for example, maple leaf. That's a bit more punchy, you know. So if you're more into slightly more neutral autumnal shades, then I think Ginger would be lovely. So yeah, I think then we have another very autumnal shade that was a really, yeah, it was very popular in the last update. And this is Golden Hour. And it's just a saturated, warm, golden mustard yellow, if you will. But yeah, I think it's very pretty. And it goes very well with our other autumnal shades. Can I hold these up somehow? But yeah. We have terracotta, maple leaf, ginger and golden hour next to each other. And I think this is just beautiful. So yeah, transitioning into slightly more, let's say, earthy shades, we will have this beautiful brown that's called Walnut. We've dyed this on the BFM Masham DK as well, so you probably saw this one there already. But yeah, this is Walnut. And then we have its slightly lighter sibling that we just decided to call, as it is, beige. Because that's what it is. It's a coolish grey beige undertone. Grey undertoned beige, that's what I wanted to say. And then we have another earthy shade that I think is one of the most easy to combine shades we have, and that one is Oat. And it's a slightly warmer and slightly lighter beige. That's super nice as a base color, for example, if you want to knit a colorwork sweater. And you want to use a couple of more punchy colors, this one will probably go with everything because it has just a very neutral undertone and it's very easy to combine. So this one is Oat on our Shetland Romney 4-ply base. And just so you can have an idea of how the 3 brown beige shades go together, this is them next to each other. So the warmer, deeper shade is walnut. In the middle we have the beige, and then oat is quite a bit, I don't know, the camera doesn't pick it up too well, but it's quite a bit lighter than the beige. It doesn't look like it on the camera, but you know, it's less, it's a bit warmer, I would say, and slightly lighter than the beige. So yeah, earthy shades. And then we have 2 more shades, and those are a bit more in the, let's say, fresh, light, not so earthy category. You can definitely see that I'm very inspired by the season changing right now, and like leaves turning and everything. I just really enjoy earthy shades myself right now, so that's why I might be drawn towards dyeing a lot of them. But yeah, we have eucalyptus, which is a light, not minty, but a very light, fresh green. Come on, camera, can you focus? Oh, here we go. So yeah, this is eucalyptus, and it's a super wearable shade as well, I feel. And then, last but not least, we have our shade Lavender, which is a nice, slightly less saturated than on camera, I would say, lilac-y purple. So yeah, this one is called Lavender. And I think it's just really lovely. So yeah, I guess that's it. I'm just sitting in a huge pile of yarn. But I hope this gave you a little bit of an idea on what we created. I hope you will find some colorways you like, because yeah, we've tried to create a really broad palette. So with a new base launching, you know, I would like to give everyone the chance to try this, and I didn't want to limit it to a certain collection of colors, so I wanted to make it as, you know, I wanted to offer as many color families as possible. And yeah, that's why we've been dyeing up a storm, because I also wanted to have a good amount of each color, just because yeah, I wouldn't want you to miss out on a color just because, you know, I dyed too little of it, because I should maybe mention, we've had a situation of launching a new base a couple of months ago, where we've dyed a big palette of colors because I thought this yarn is exceptionally color work suitable, and with a big amount of colors, we didn't have the chance to dye larger batches of each color, and so some people missed out on the colorways they wanted. And so this time I tried to change this and dye larger amounts of each color. But still, I would still recommend, as I do in all of my colorway preview videos, just try to be on time if you're eyeing one of the colorways on this new base, because from my experience, whenever we launched a new base, I think, yeah, I don't know, it's just always going a bit more quickly than, for example, our standard bases. And yeah, just if you're eyeing something in particular, I will just invite you to be on time for the shop update, because that's the only thing how I can, I mean, I can never guarantee, but how chances are a lot better that you can get what you're looking for. Yeah, and as always, I want to say that I hate putting out this kind of pressure. But yeah, I'd rather have you be on time and get what you want than not being on time and then miss out and then being sad about it. So yeah, I just recommend to be on time if you can. And I'm also going to be available most of this week, so if you have any questions, I know there are always a lot of questions around whenever there's a new base, because you're not familiar with it, so feel free to drop me a line on my email or an Instagram DM, and I'm gonna try to give you a better idea of how this yarn is. But yeah, I think that is it about Shetland Romney 4-ply. So yeah, let's jump right into the next section. So let's get to the last section. I'm happy that I'm almost at the end of this video because it's getting really dark outside and I really hope you can see me. Luckily I don't have to show any more colors for this section, so we should be okay. But in this section I want to talk to you about our little festive special that we've been preparing over the last couple of months and that I'm exceptionally excited for, because I don't know how long you've been sticking around on this channel, but last year we did a little holiday special, like our festive winter boxes, and this year we are bringing them back, but in a completely different form, because I feel like the times are completely different from how they were last year, even though we've had a pandemic last year already. But yeah, the world has changed a lot, and I feel like the end of the year, whether you're celebrating Christmas or anything else or whatever is your tradition around this time of year, I think for me and for my, cultural and family background, it's always the time of the year where we try to remember and just think of what this year brought to us. And I think so far this year has brought a lot of crazy things and not necessarily all positive things. And so with our kind of festive end of the year holiday special, we've wanted to create something that would be all around a little bit like self-care and being reminded of the little things that can bring calm and joy in these crazy times. And so we curated a collection of things that would be contributing to a small moment maybe for yourself that could bring calm and, just ground and settle yourself. That was the overall idea of the collection. And yeah, I think with what we've curated for this, it's all working very well together, and I really, really hope to those of you who might be treating themselves to one of those boxes, I really hope it will bring you some calm and remind you of how much happiness and calmness the little things in life can bring. And for this box we've collaborated with a couple of very talented makers all around handmade products. So every product in this box is made by hand by someone who has a profession in his or hers field, let's put it that way. And it was such a lovely thing to curate this collection and to connect with the other makers and to create a box that could contribute to the well-being of someone, even if it's just for a small moment. And without further ado, let me tell you a bit more about what this is all about. So of course this box will contain some yarn, because that's what I'm doing, and I feel like us knitters can get a lot of happiness and joy out of working with yarn and needles. So I'm going to contribute a sock set to this box, and the colorway is going to be secret. And then I've collaborated with my sweet pottery teacher Nata of Studio Marillas, who is an incredibly talented person, and she is she's creating extreme beauty out of stoneware and of clay, and I think like watching her work is extremely mesmerizing, and I'm very glad to be to join some of her pottery courses. But yeah, also part of her teaching ability, her products are extremely beautiful and made with loads of care and sustainability in mind. And Nata is contributing a beautiful mug out of a clay that she mixes herself. So it's a completely unique clay. And this mug is completely hand thrown on a wheel by her. And all the finishing touches are made by hand. And they're just very beautiful. And I feel like enjoying a cup of your favorite drink can be a very relaxing and lovely thing to treat yourself. So that's why I think it fits the whole theme of the box very well. But yeah, Nata is going to contribute this hand-thrown beautiful mug that I also sneak peeked on Instagram here and there. So if you want to see how they might look, you can have a look around, and I'm also going to send out a picture of them in my newsletter. But to complete the whole theme around enjoying a cup of a nice warm beverage to treat yourself, we have also collaborated with Elena of Grasler, who are making also ceramics, but what I found extremely inspiring is that they are hand-picking local herbs and create their own tea blends, all from locally picked herbs and flowers. And I think this is incredibly inspiring. And so I reached out to Lena and asked if I could have one of her signature blends of wild herb teas that I hand-picked for this box to kind of underline the whole treating yourself and enjoying a nice special beverage to yourself. And I think Lena's tea is a lovely contribution to this, and together with Nata's hand-thrown mug, it's just the perfect little set to create a beautiful setting for yourself. And last but not least, we're also gonna have a set of handmade stitch markers by Dusana of Dusana Knit, and those are made out of natural gemstones, and they fit the color of the mug and the whole box generally. So yeah, I think using those stitch markers with the yarn that will be in the box and enjoying a nice cup of tea could be something where I hope to bring some nice self-care moments into your lives with these boxes. So at least that's what I'm anticipating. And yeah, so it will be a hand-thrown mug, some hand-picked tea, handmade stitch markers, and a sock set of yarn out of our Corriedale sock base. All will be packed with a lot of care and a lot of love. I've been working on the packaging for this box for months, and I hope it will create an all-over enjoyable moment. The yarn will also come covered, so you don't see the colorways, in case you want to be surprising yourself with a little something around, I don't know whether you're celebrating Christmas, but if you want to treat yourself to something, it will be covered, so you won't see the colorway beforehand, and it will be covered with a beautiful small linen bag. It will come in this small linen bag that my sister actually hand embroidered with a little festive motif. And if you want to, you can even use it as a little project bag for your pair of socks that you might be knitting with the yarn. So yeah, nothing, there is no plastic in the packaging. It will all be as sustainable as possible and as reusable as possible as well. So yeah, with all the beauty I had in mind for the packaging, it should also always fit our values and what I stand for, and that is sustainability. So yeah, that was what I was going for. That's about the festive winter boxes, and they will be available with the next shop update. So on 28th of October, 8 p.m. GMT +2. And one thing I'll have to ask you, if you would like to order one of the festive winter boxes, I have to ask you to order it separately. So in case you would like to have the box and some yarn, please place 2 orders, because with all going on and the big stock that we've prepared for this update, it would be a logistic nightmare to pack boxes into boxes with yarn and have loads and loads of boxes here that I can fit everything in. And please, I'm sorry I cannot combine things, but please just place a separate order for the festive winter box, because yeah, it's not really doable for me to combine that one with another order or anything. So yeah, please bear with me, but yeah, order the boxes separately. And I will do my very best to make them also available for the cheaper shipping method. That one is unfortunately weight and box size wise very limited, but I'm doing my very best to make it available. I cannot promise that yet because I have to still pre-weigh and so everything, but I hope to make them available in the cheaper shipping method. Also, the winter boxes are pretty much ready to ship. They won't ship out right away after the update because I'm going to process orders first and then get the boxes out. But so far I'm planning to have the boxes out below a week after the shop update. So that's what the plan is right now, just so we can make sure that we have a lot of time to ship them out to our overseas customers and make sure you will have them in time for the festive season. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get them out as quickly as possible, but they should be ready to ship after the update. So I think this is it so far. As mentioned, the shop update is going to take place on the 28th of October at 8 p.m. GMT +2. And I can recommend being on time. That's what I said already. And I will also send out another newsletter just so you can be reminded when the update goes live. But yeah, I'm really excited for this big update coming, and I hope you'll find something you like. And as mentioned, I'm always available for questions up until Friday, so up until Friday the 28th. But yeah, feel free to email me if there are any open questions or if you need help choosing patterns or whatever. And until then, I guess I've said everything I wanted to say. And yeah, hope you're having a nice autumn and hope to see you next week on the shop update. Bye.